Okay, so today's lesson is on division of algebra and long division at that. Here I'm given the question: divide 6x squared plus 11x plus 3 by 3x plus 1. So I'm going to lay that out as so. So I have 6x squared, or maybe write down further, 6x squared plus 11x plus 3 is all divided by, and I use this symbol here, which I know you've met before in primary school, 3x plus 1. So that's how I lay it out. The 1, this is the longer one, 6x squared plus 11x plus 3, is divided by, so this one goes on the outside. Okay, and how I'm going to do that is I'm going to really start off by looking at this 3x. Now, how many times does 3x go into 6x squared, or what would I need? Sometimes it's easier to actually work backwards and to say, well, what can I multiply 3x by to get 6x squared? So what can I multiply 3x by to get 6x squared? And if I multiplied 3x by 2x, I would get 6x squared. So I'm going to use this method now to find out what is 2x times 3x. It is 6x squared. So I write that here underneath, 6x squared. And then I ask myself, okay, well, what is 2x times 1? So this is the next line I do. And 2x times 1 would give me just plus 2x. I'm now faced with an issue where I have 6x squared and 6x squared. And if I draw my line here, technically what I would be doing here is adding them. But I would like to cancel these out, and I'm going to, as these are all equations, I'm going to change the signs of this bottom line here. Okay, so I've said I'm going to change the lines of these bottom lines, so I'm going to make this a minus 6x squared and this a minus 2x. And what you'll notice is your 6x squared and your minus 6x squared cancel. And so we've gotten rid of a little bit, and I'm now left with plus 11x minus 2x, and that will give me 9x. And I must then bring down the next term. Alright, and you can see that the next term in this is plus 3. So I'm going to bring that down. I'm going to write it in red just so we'll have an idea of where it came from. So plus 3. I then go back and I ask myself this question here again, except now I'm looking at the 9x. And so I say, what can I multiply 3x by to get, and in this case, in this one, I'm now going 9x. And 3x by what would give me 9x? And it is 3x by just plus 3. So if I check that out, 3 by 3x would give me 9x. And then 3, I must do it also to the next part, so 3 by plus 1 would give me plus 3. I then go back to this, which is change the signs of the bottom line to get something to cancel. So I'm going to change the signs of minus 9x, the plus 9x is going to become a minus 9x, and the minus 3 is now going to become a minus. And you'll notice that plus 9x and minus 9x cancel, and the plus 3 and the minus 3 cancel in this instance as well. So I'm actually left with nothing here. And so what I've done now is I've divided 3x plus 1 into this evenly. There's nothing left over, and so it goes into it 2x plus 3. Alright, example 2 here is 4x squared plus 7x minus 2 with this line over it, and remember that line means division by x plus 2, so it's another way you can ask the exact same question. So we're dividing this x plus 2 into this longer expression, 4x squared plus 7x minus 2. So I'm going to lay it out correctly. So it is 4x squared plus 7x minus 2, all divided by x plus 2. Okay, I'm now going to follow the same steps as I have done previously. And the first one is, what do I multiply x by to get a 4x squared here? That's my aim. I want to get 4x squared here. and I multiply x by 4x to get a 4x squared here. So 4x times x gives me 4x squared, which is what I wanted. I'm going to write this in blue just so it's... But I must also do to the remainder part. So 4x times 2 is plus 8x. And then if you think about it, the second step I had was to change the signs of the bottom line to get something to cancel. So if I change the signs here, I'll have a minus 4x squared and I'll have a minus 8x. So I'm just going to do my normal algebra, and I'm working downwards, so in a vertical way. 4x squared minus 4x squared, well, that actually cancels, fantastic. And I'm left with plus 7x minus 8x gives me minus 1x. The second thing I told you to do is to ensure that you bring down the next term, which in this case is minus 2. So that comes down. I'm going to write it just in red so we know where it came from. That's it there. And I go back again. What do I want here? I want a minus 1x here. What do I multiply x by to get minus 1x? And the answer is minus 1. So minus 1 times x gives me minus 1x. But I must also remember I need to do it to this. And minus 1 times 2 gives me minus 2. And again, we follow that step here. Then you change the signs of the bottom line to get something to cancel. So if I change the sign, this will become a plus, and this will become a plus. And a minus 1x plus a 1x, well, that actually cancels to give you nothing. And a minus 2 plus a 2 also cancels to give you nothing. So x plus 2 goes into this evenly. There is no remainder, and it is 4x minus 1. Okay, so short learning check for tonight. You are asked to work out this x squared minus x minus 6. This line here means divide. So divide x squared minus x minus 6 by x plus 2. And I'll see everybody tomorrow.